morning, my name is Lashae SL, and I am presenting my service learning project with 2B, which is Second Baptist Church, 2BC, MLK reads. According to Frederick Douglass, once you learn to read, you will forever be free. You should listen to me because, like most of you, we have completed a service learning project. Of course, completing 4 hours of volunteering, but I've done more. As you can see, 2016, 2017, that's correct. I actually started volunteering with the MLK Reads in September of last year. By submitting this assignment, I do acknowledge that this is 100% my own work. To give back to the community doesn't always have to be in form of money. You can do it as far as picking up trash, community service, serving food to someone. You know, people like to tend to think, oh, I have to give money as far as giving to a community, when in fact you can donate clothes, and there's like many other ways to give back to the community. When I came back at Martin Luther King Elementary School for a program called MLK Reads, not only did I enjoy myself with my pupil, I enhanced her ability to comprehend with books that she was struggling with in reading at her level. To communicate efficiently and effectively, and to give her a great learning experience as a whole. I will talk to you about where I completed my service learning, some communication concepts in relation to the service learning, and how I could improve my communication skills in those concepts. So this is the overview. I completed my service learning at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, which is downtown across from the Children's Hospital, if you don't know where that is, through a program, like I said, MLK Reads. And some pictures for you. Some may think that reading is boring, however, reading is very fundamental. The mission of the organization, according to 2CLR.com, emphasized 3 of the following. And this is coming from the church mission. So it's under the church. So I'm going to read you what the church pretty much said about that. Give back to the world, basically. If you have faith, you have to put some work into it as well. You know, you just can't go around saying that, oh, I believe that people should be helped, but you don't do anything about it. That's why they believe they should give, up their time and their moments to actually put forth the effort to help those who are in need. In this instance, there are children who are unable to really comprehend as far as reading and as far as like learning things at their level that they should learn. So they decided to put together a program where they're able to sit with volunteers who are able to talk through the books, let them read on their own, let them see what is they're struggling in as far as the vocabulary and all that good stuff. That way they're able to increase and enhance those skills so they can get to the level they're supposed to be. So if they're in the 2nd grade reading at a pre-K level, initially they want to get to that point where they can be at a 2nd grade level again and go up to a 3rd grade level or 4th grade level. So I was asked to participate on September last year, and I accepted. And ever since then, every Friday, I will go and tutor a young child named Michaela, and she is right there next to a young guy named Mr. Ray Sean. And that's a little video I'll click in a second of them just reading to me. So every Friday, I tutor a young lady named Miss Michaela between like 30 to 40 minutes. My goal was to help Michaela improve her literacy, vocabulary, and strategies for reading. And so basically the session, when I come in, I sign in, I locate my child, not biologically, and I bring her back to the reading room, which that's called. And she sits down, I get her forward, and I say, okay, Michaela, we're going to read about robots today, or we're going to read about bugs today. Just something really simple, something really basic. And I let her read the book, and I don't correct her, I don't stop her. I just kind of point at a word that she said incorrectly. And that gives her a chance to say, oh, I must have said it wrong, so I'm going to reread it. And if she doesn't get it, I'll just initially write the word on the board, and we'll discuss it after the fact. So I'm going to click this real quick. It's just a minute. Please work. It won't work. Well, it was a video. I had to change the PDF format, so anyway. So because of this course, I am informed about these concepts to draw a connection to my service learning. And this is what I'm going to basically tie now my civil and ethical communication concepts and implications and all that good stuff into this. One communication concept that I could use to improve my communicating. The service learning correlates to mission by the organization by me being dedicated to serve others in the community. And in this case, Michaela helped her succeed and to extend a helping hand always for a person in need. This next part will be as important as you think. There are two communication concepts and a communication principle connected to my service. Seeing that we are in this speech class, it is relevant to discuss. The first communication concept is comprehensive listening. According to Shelley, Abigail, and Gooch on page 97, comprehension listening is a type of listening in which people engage when they want to learn, understand, and recall information. So in this instance, like I said before, it's relevant because I'll use like a little chalkboard that says Happy Easter. And I'll write down anything she mispronounced. And sometimes I get a sheet of paper saying, hey, use this word in a sentence because you didn't know what it meant at first, but now you do. So how would you use it in a sentence? My example illustrates the definition because Michaela always participates and learns by the end of the session. The second communication concept is respect. The definition, according to Shelley, Abigail, and Gooch on page 125, means to acknowledge others by listening and validating their points of views. So in this instance, I am respecting the use of the classroom, the use of the school, the use of coming in, signing in like I'm supposed to, and going to get my child, and sitting down and actually listening to her, and she listens to me, and vice versa. My example illustrates the definition one way or another because through it all, I am always being respectful. The relevant communication principle is communication is inevitable. I can't speak today. According to the Survival Guide on page 9, communication is a dynamic process that cannot be reserved. An example of my service that illustrates this principle was working with children. Basically, you're always going to communicate with them. There's hardly any point in time you may not speak or they may not speak to you. At some point in time, they're going to either use nonverbal communication or they're going to open their mouth and say what it is that's on their mind. So my example basically illustrates this because kids will do whatever they need to do to get their voices heard. So again, this was like the mission of the church and the organization for Second Baptist Church to do good works and help those in need. And MLK Reed's mission was basically to enhance reading levels and to provide books. And then this is a recap of what I just said. So based on my service experiences, I can use communication concepts and civil and ethical implications to improve my communication and help improve my community. Because of this course, I am informed about these concepts to draw a connection to my service learning. One communication concept that I would use to improve my communicating would be shared time. The definition, according to Shelley, Abigail, and Gooch, means a relationship reward in the form of time spent exclusively with loved ones where you are not distracted by work or people external to a relationship. I chose this application based on my service experience because one thing that I really wanted to make time for her about was getting there on time. It was around 11:15 that I get there, but she really doesn't come to the class, or I don't get her till like 11:30ish. But it was my obligation and my duty that every Friday that I can, once out of the week, that I come get her and take her down for a little session. Okay. I can use this concept to improve my communication by emphasizing the importance of being on time and that my pupil tries to come every Friday. So even though she may say, oh, I don't want to come in Friday, but I know Miss Anna's going to be there, then that shared time between us is helping the relationship grow. You know, if I was terrible initially, she may not ever wanted me to ever come back again. She'd probably say, I don't like her, so I'm just not going to come back. But she does, so she comes. A civil ethical implication concept that I use to improve my communication would be integrity. The definition, according to the Survival Guide on page 10, means to model our values for others by holding ourselves accountable to the same standards that we hold ourselves to hold others, and to keep our promises that we make to others. I chose this implication based on my service experience because the times that I expect Michaela to be in school, also she expected me to be there for her. I can use this implication to improve my community as far as keeping my word and dedication. One thing I promised her was like, have her bring a candy. She said, okay, I'm hoping on it, like I'm wishing for it. well, Kanye liked chocolate, and I forgot. I felt bad, but I did bring her some candy the next time. Well, anyway, this has been fun almost, but sadly about to end. Giving back to the community do not always have to involve money, like I already stated before. I think that was the last slide. Okay. Not only did I enjoy myself though with my people, and I still am to this day, I enhanced their availability to comprehend books as far as the reading level goes, which most of the time I don't do hardly any talking. I say, okay, here's a book about spiders. Read as much as you can. It's always 16 pages. Each book is 16 pages long. And then at the end of that, she'll write about what she read, what she liked about it, what she didn't like about it. And I'll stamp this thing called a passport, which really means she read about a book, I stamp it, congratulations, you just read another book. Okay. So enhancing her ability to comprehend, which she's really smart. She gets most of the stuff a lot on her level. I feel like she's exceeded the expectations that they already had for her. So I spoke to you all today, kind of tongue-tied a lot, but I spoke to you all today as far as my service learning and how I did more than 4. I did probably like a good, I did 6 lectures. Some communication concepts in relations to the service learning and how I can improve as far as my communication skills and those concepts. And as Frederick Douglass said in the beginning of my paper, once you learn to read, you will forever be free. And this is correct because a lot of people didn't have that chance to read. And there's people today still alive who still wish that they were able to go to school and just get that simple education as far as learning how to just read something like their own name. So thank you for listening to today. I'm at 11. What?
Almost 12 minutes.
How? I feel like I didn't talk